Hey, Pat, I just wanted to ask you about what you saw in the beginning of training camp when you first showed up from Devontae Downs, a guy who had 3 career NFL tackles that made you put him where you did, and what you saw in the weeks since that have made you keep him seemingly where he is.
The one thing that showed up, good afternoon or good morning, whatever it is right now, but the one thing that showed up with him, I would say that stuck out was just even looking back at the tape, his athletic ability, his ability to play on his feet and not be on the ground, has some good speed, good burst. And then what we were looking for is like, okay, then you got a chance to meet him, and he had the right demeanor, that you're looking for at the linebacker position. And then it was all about just really building his confidence. And again, I'm not saying he didn't have confidence. To be at this level, you have to have some confidence. But I think it was just building his confidence in terms of, okay, I think you could do this. You know you could do this? Let's do it together, and work it. And I will say this guy has worked his tail off this camp leading into this first week of the regular season. And I'm talking about everything we've asked him to improve upon. He's really worked hard at it. He still has a ways to go, just like we all do. But, there's been steady improvement, especially of the things that are on the checklist. Like you try to give these guys reachable goals within, a week or even within the month of training camp. But, he's trying to hit those points on the checklist, and he's doing a pretty solid job. We just got to see how it plays out when it gets the real deal now here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Pat Leonard.
Hey, Pat, how you doing? You hear me okay?
Oh, yes. How you doing?
Great, thanks. Joe Judge had mentioned at the opposite outside corner spot that there's a chance you guys could have a rotation and maybe even ride the hot hand is the way he described it in certain games early on. Mm-hmm. Do you think, does Corey Ballantyne get a chance to try and lock that down? Do he and Isaac Yiadom, end up in a rotation? Will you end up putting Logan Ryan over there if need be? How are you approaching that?
Well, again, I can't ever speak for Joe, but, I think we got a pretty good competitive situation at the outside corner spot and just overall just the defensive back spot. And I know this, Corey, he's been here every day working hard, showing physicality in the run game, showing the ability to play press coverage or play off coverage in passing game. And I really like where he's gone as a young player. He's really grown, knowing that he spent a lot of time in the slot last year. And then for Ike, Ike just got here, or Isaac, sorry. Isaac just got, his nickname's Ike. He just got here. And, the thing that stands out about him, he's long, he's physical, he can run. So, we got a pretty competitive situation. And to be honest with you, the way the league is, especially leading into this game, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers coming into town, Ben Roethlisberger. He has a bunch of wide receivers. I don't know. You might – shoot. Think about how many defensive backs we're going to need out in that field. So, I don't know if there is one spot. We can't think about the traditional 2-corner deal. They got speed all over that field, all those guys. So, I don't know. It's just, it's a matchup against these guys is hard because of all the speed they have on the field, all the wide receiver potentially. The backs are fast, who play like receivers. It's going to be tough, but, it's just a competitive situation. And we'll do what we think is best that week. So without giving away anything, I can't do that. But, we got some guys, from Logan to those guys that, we feel confident in their ability. But, again, we got practice today. We're working through that, and, they're still competing.
But can Isaac contribute right away, even though he got here so late?
Hey, if you're long, you're fast, and you get your hands on the receivers, for me, I vote yes. We'll see how it plays out. The competition starts, but based on the skill set, yes. We just got to see how everything plays out.
Thanks.
Lombardo.
Hey, Pat. How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. You've spent a whole summer with Joe Judge now through training camp and now getting ready for the regular season. Is there anything that surprised you about him in terms of how he prepares to be a head coach and just kind of tackling this new challenge?
The summer, but I spent a lot of time with him. Our offices were near each other when we worked together. Here's what I know about Joe. He's one of the best teachers I've ever been around. I used to sit in his meetings at times and just be amazed at how he's able to, special teams coordinators, they have a short period of time. They got to get a lot of info in, and just amazed at how quickly and how effectively he could get the information to the guys. In terms of surprise, no. I mean, he's organized, he's smart, he's tough on his players, demanding, and he knows football. So, I mean, to me, I'm not surprised. He's good leadership skills. So, I mean, no real big surprises. I mean, from me so far. And I know, he'll be the first one to tell you, like we all are. We're trying to get better every day. So, I mean, but, like, no real surprises for me.
There's this perception on the outside that because he has a special teams background and, spent time talking in front of entire teams before and never really called plays on either side of the ball, that he's kind of a CEO as a head coach. What's his role like in the defensive meetings and defensive game plans? Because we didn't really get to see any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe this wholeheartedly. When Joe did the opening press conference and expressed how he wanted the New York Giants to look, is the vision of the head coach. So whether it's offense, defense, special teams, anything we call, anything that's out on that field is a reflection of the vision of the head coach. That's my job. So his input is priceless. Like whether it's specifically making a play call or not, I don't know, but his input is priceless. I mean, because I wanted to be reflective of what he wants and that toughness that we talked about in the area. I mean, especially when you're talking about dealing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's a tough football team. They're fast, they're tough, they're smart. I mean, we got to be ready to match that. And I mean, I think Joe's probably, being the visionary that he is, he's probably outlined that from jump, knowing where we had to go, where we had to get to for this game. So, I mean, CEO, I don't know. I mean, I just know this. He's the head coach of the New York Giants. He laid out the vision pretty clear, and now we're trying to work to obtain that game, to make that vision come to fruition for him. And, his input on the defense, I can't speak for offense or special teams, but it's priceless. We talk about the scheme all the time.
Thanks, Pat.
No problem.
Zach.
Pat. Hey, Pat.
doing,
Jumping
Zach?
off that a little bit, how do you envision that dynamic going between you and Joe on Monday night with you calling the plays and him being the coach? And then how has your relationship grown, since this is a different relationship now that he's the head coach and you're the defensive coordinator than when you were working together in New England, obviously?
Well, I mean, we'll see how it plays out for the game, but there's a flow of communication between us because we know each other, and it's my job. I mean, I'm the defensive coordinator, but I mean, like I said before, it has to be a reflection of what the head coach wants. I mean, I don't think any assistant coach would tell you otherwise. And then how has the relationship grown? We've always talked football, whether we were QCs and we were eating breakfast, we were talking football. Football in our families. That's what we're doing. I mean, and so, I mean, now again, I would say this week is much more football. I think we've caught up on the family thing over the last month. We're worried about Pittsburgh right now. It's about how we're going to cover the receivers, how we're going to, defeat blocks up front against this talented offensive line, even though they got some guys injured. How we're going to block their running backs. How we're going to tackle their running backs and tackle everybody else in space. But, I mean, the relationship grows anytime you're back around each other, just because we're talking more ball and we're talking, less about the family right now, but more ball now.
Thanks.
No problem.
Hey, Pat. Just sort of general philosophical question. Like, how do you feel about having a top corner travel with an opponent's top receiver?
I mean, when you think about that, like game plan wise over the history of the defensive schemes I've been in, I think it's a week-to-week basis, what you want to do. Like, you got to, again, I think it's my job to put our guys in the right spots to be successful. So when the years we've done that, it was because we thought that was the best thing for the game plan. Like, what you'll find from me, I'm willing to do whatever the head coach tells us and what we think is best for the game plan for that week. That's probably as clear as I could define it. I mean, and if it involves me staying up a little bit later and the coaches work a little bit harder to get the guys to understand it, but we'll do that because I know this. These players are smart men. They don't get here being dumb. They're smart men. And if we can put a little wrinkle here and there, these guys can learn it. You give them 6 days to learn it, they'll learn it. They'll learn it, especially if it's putting them in the right spot, especially if it's going to help them be successful on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. So, I mean, again, this is really game to game to me, Dan, if that answers your question.
Yeah, and I don't expect you to reveal your game plan or anything right now.
No,
but
you're good. You're good.
No, this follow-up question is more geared to the Steelers. With a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, who's their number one receiver and spends a lot of time in the slot, does that change that dynamic? Like, maybe some corners don't want to go inside? Or?
I mean, the beauty of, the good thing about our guys, we talk about it all the time. We want guys to put the team first. So, and we've been lucky to have guys, all the guys on the roster, from Darnay to JB to Ike, that's new, Corey, B. Will, Slim. All the guys here, they're selfless guys. And so I think, again, I can't speak for them, but whatever we think is best for the team, I think they're willing to do that. And luckily for my career, I've been around guys like that, where it might be uncomfortable, but you know what? They got here being uncomfortable because it's never comfortable to be the best in the world. You got the work you have to put in. I just think about the strain that you have to go through for that. They're used to it. They're used to it at such a young age, and that's why it's a pleasure to be around them.
You just rattled off some names. Who's Slim?
Oh, sorry. Williams, sorry.
Okay.
I keep using the nickname. I'm right before practice. I'm ready to go, so.
We got time for one more. Ed.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you about facing, Ben Roethlisberger coming off a year where he really didn't play and he's, coming off that major surgery. Are you kind of curious as to what you're going to see? What might you expect from him on Monday?
I try to shave so you guys wouldn't see all the gray hair this week is causing. But no, yes, I'm curious, and we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to adjust. I know this. He's one of the best to ever do it. He could throw the ball anywhere. He's tough. That's the thing that stands out. He's one of the toughest players to ever play in this league. We got, and just, for a young team that we have, just trying to explain to him, listen, no play is over. He could get the ball anywhere. He'll make the right decisions in the run game. That's one thing you got when you're dealing with these veteran quarterbacks. I wish there was a stat or somehow the decisions they make in the run game, the yards there. Like take all the 50,000 or whatever many yards passing. How many yards did they contribute to the run game by getting you in the right check? I've been hit with that with this guy over the years several times, so and they got the backs and the people to block and the receivers willing to block to do it. So, there's so much he brings to the table, and we're just going to keep studying. It's Thursday now. We got till Monday. We're going to use all that time to keep studying, going back on tape, seeing what they're doing. And then, but the beauty of it, and also the hard thing about it, is once the game comes, we have to adjust. We have to adjust. And then they're going to adjust. Then we have to adjust again. But that's what we get paid to do. And, it's fun. It's fun.